Hello everybody, it's Philly Cuts with another Hump Day haul. We are up to number 101. You know, where I get together with you guys every week and we talk about my stack of overpriced new comic books. Because I'm stupid and I can't wait. Yeah. Alright, we got a ton of books this week, especially as always on the DC front. If you missed my last episode of Hump Day Haul, number 100, you may want to check it out because I did a shout-out video, and I actually looked back on the comment sections of my last 30 or 35 videos or something, and whoever left a comment, I tried to give a shout-out to. So, you may want to take a look. And I am going to be answering all the comments that you guys left on number 100, if not this weekend, definitely in the near future, so I appreciate all the support. I really do. It's you guys that make the Hump Day Haul happen. Alright, let's get started here. DC, we got Batman number 5, written by Tom King, artwork by David Finch. This concludes the first arc of Batman, the I Am Gotham storyline. And it continues with Gotham on a serious rampage throughout Gotham City. I mean, he's on the verge of destroying it. He is under the influences of one psycho pirate. He's taking control of Gotham's emotions, and Gotham just isn't dealing too well, and neither is Batman. Alfred's actually helping in the fray, driving the Batmobile, running into Gotham. But is that going to be enough to take Gotham out? In case you didn't know, Gotham has some serious superpowers, and Batman is definitely out of his league. So much so that he needs to get the help of the Justice League, with the new Superman there at the helm. Actually, pre-Flashpoint Superman. But I guess we're going to have to see what happens, what goes down. The story continues to focus mainly on Gotham. Gotham Girl, again, takes a back seat. She has for most of this opening crescendo here. But we do learn that she begins to have a bit of a romance with Duke Thomas. So who knows where that's going to lead to. And lo and behold, Gotham Girl may end up being the key linchpin that ends up stopping Gotham. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Alright, we got Superman number 5. On with the Eradicator. The guy, the neo-Nazi Krptonian robot creature thing that wants to make sure the bloodline of Krptonians remains pure. He is on a rampage to do away with Superman's son, John. So much so that Superman's got to take off like a bat out of hell, and they end up on the moon, of all places, where there is a secret Batcave facility. I guess it's one of Batman's hideouts, it's looking like. It's kind of cool because when they do get on the moon, and before they get into this lair, there are some bat drones that they have to contend with, getting attacked by. Eradicator still is able to track down Superman and Lois Lane and Son. There he is. He's looking pretty badass in this issue, more so than last. I think they may have gotten a new artist on here, Mankey. I can never say his name. But yeah, him and Supes do some serious battle in this. The artwork is looking great in here as well. Superman gets so involved in the fray with the Eradicator that he ends up leaving Jonathan and Lois Lane alone. Yes. Can Lois Lane be able to stop the Eradicator? I guess we'll have to find out. Another cool thing about this is that within the Eradicator, within his body, were like the lost souls of Krypton. And there's Batman kind of having a conversation with some dead people. That's the dead people of Krypton. So, yeah, things are heating up. All right, on to Green Lanterns, number 5, the continuing saga of rookie Green Lanterns, Simon Bez and Jessica Cruz. It's getting a bit repetitive at this point. I learned in this issue that Jessica Cruz is just continuing to doubt herself. Most of this comic book takes place within their thoughts, so there's tons and tons of thought text, both for Simon Bez and Jessica Cruz. If you didn't know, Jessica Cruz was a shut-in prior to this stint as a Green Lantern. She had agoraphobia, folks, fear of going outside, fear of wide open spaces as well. She is very challenged by this, man. I feel like I'm reading Aquaman. You know, Aquaman just is very repetitive with the whole Atlantean versus land dweller dynamic. Well, that's what's kind of going on here with Jessica Cruz. In the last issue, there were a lot of growing pains between Jessica Cruz and Simon Bez because Jessica Cruz was infected by this red rage that's going across the whole planet Earth and turning humans into these rage-filled zombies. I want to know, where's the Justice League when all of this is going on, because this is a massive Earth-wide crisis. So I guess you got to wear your suspension of disbelief hat, right, when you try to wonder where Justice League is. But I guess in this issue, we start to learn that they cannot do things on their own. They need to work together as a team in order for this to work. And remember, they are sharing one lantern in order to recharge their rings. So they better get along, peeps. They better get along. I guess we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. But it does not wrap up in this issue. The Red Lanterns want to make Earth into another Yasmalt 2. So they want to transform the planet into a fiery lake of bloody red fire. So we'll see how it goes. All right. We got the first issue of Suicide Squad. We got some heavy hitters on this title. Namely, in the art department, you have none other than Jim Lee. And the artwork, it looks great. I mean, the guy has a stellar reputation for a reason. And let me find a nice page here for you guys. Take a look at. This is why Jim Lee is one of the tops, people. It's written by Rob Williams. If you don't remember, The Martian Manhunter was pretty good. Too bad it got discontinued. I don't think it should have. Neither should have the Omega Man. I think both those series could have kept going. It turns out that the Suicide Squad is on kind of a mission that's a bit in outer space. An object from outer space has fallen to Earth, and it's gotten in a bad guy's hands. I'm not going to reveal who. And leave it to the Suicide Squad Task Force X to kind of retrieve the item. So it's a lot of reintroducing the characters again. The last issue, the Rebirth issue, kind of focused on Rick Flag and Amanda Waller and their tenuous relationship. This kind of expands the cast and crew to the full crew of the Suicide Squad. There they are right there, Harley Quinn and crew. But I guess what is really stealing the show in this issue is a great backstory of Deadshot, and we kind of delve more into his past before he became involved with the Suicide Squad and his strained relationship with his daughter. So I guess that this comic book is very, very much tied into the movie, and it's very much related to the movie. So if you didn't catch the movie, you may want to do so, because it is going to be a bit different from my understanding than what New 52 Suicide Squad was. For instance, Katana. A lot of people are upset that Katana has been reduced to playing the bodyguard of one Rick Flag, whereas I guess in the New 52 series, she had much more of a prominent role. All right, Harley Quinn number 2. What more can I say other than Harley Quinn is facing hordes and hordes of zombies in Coney Island, people. The Coney Island of the Dam. So not only do you have Chad Harding doing the artwork on this, but you also have Tim's pairing up. So that's going to make for awesome, awesome visuals, as always. Both of those guys are tremendous. This is basically just going to be a bunch of gags, I think based on a lot of zombie tropes. That's my sense here. Now, the virus is being spread through hot dogs, of all things. And if you know one thing about Coney Island, dude, it's home of Nathan's, and it's where they have the hot dog eating contest. You know, Joey Chestnut, and who's that other guy? Oh my God, he's on Matt Stoney. You know how those guys can eat something like 70 plus hot dogs in like 10 or 11 minutes, something ridiculous. They make Joey Cool Superfoods look like an Ethiopian, if you know what I'm saying. All right. I guess we'll see how this goes. I'm imagining it's going to be a very fun issue. Lots and lots of violence. It's going to be a great vehicle for Harley Quinn to really strut her stuff in the violence department. If anything, New 52 Harley Quinn kind of showed us she can be really nice at times, really sentimental, but when that dash of psycho kicks in, you better watch out. All right, Harley Quinn, number 2. And on to Aquaman. Dan Abnett doing the writing. Aquaman, prisoner of the U.S. government. He's been labeled a murderer, a traitor to the American people. And he was actually put in cuffs last issue, and he willingly allowed himself to be captured because he wanted to be diplomatic. He wanted to work with the Americans to kind of hatch out a plan, a deal. He was accused of sinking the U.S. Navy USS Pontchartrain. I believe it was a battleship or an aircraft carrier. Tons of deaths in the U.S. naval fleet. Aquaman getting the blame, but we all know that it's really Black Manta working with, oh my God, he's working with some new submersive group. I can't remember the name of it. Nemo. Here you go. Aquaman and Mera. Mera actually broke him out. She couldn't take it anymore, seeing her man in chains. But there they are, man, up against the United States government. Now, does everyone in the government and the military think that Aquaman is just, a freak that needs to be eradicated? Look at that, Mera ripping that turret off that tank. I love that we are seeing Mera and Aquaman working so close together. It's great. It's awesome. Back to my other point. No, there are some dissenters within the government, within the White House Situation Room, that are questioning whether or not what they're doing to Aquaman is the right move. So it's nice to see that not everybody is just mindlessly against Aquaman, and that hopefully something is going to work out. So I guess we'll have to see, but the majority of this issue really is showcasing Mera's powers against the army, and I don't know, it's kind of reminiscent of Hulk when he used to fight the military all the time. I don't know. I'm hoping it picks up. I am a bit disappointed with Aquaman. Not as stoked as on Aquaman as I was in much of the New 52. All right, Justice League number 3. Now this has been a pretty choppy story, to say the least. It's been a lot of stuff going on here. There's earthquakes all over the planet Earth on all 7 continents, and it's gotten to the point that we need to send in Superman to the Earth's core to find out what the hell is going on with these earthquakes. The problem is the Justice League does not fully trust this pre-Flashpoint Superman. They still miss New 52 Superman, who has died, who's dead, who's kicked the bucket. They miss him, and they don't trust this Superman. So big problems there. Now, people on planet Earth have been becoming rage-filled monsters, kind of like what we were seeing in the Green Lantern universe with the Red Dawn. But the cool twist here is that they are all merging together into giant beings known as the Kindred. So that's been kind of cool. I kind of like that piece of the puzzle there. I'm glad that it didn't just turn into another story where we have these like rage-filled zombies. And as you can see, they look kind of cool. They remind me of like Volthoom, the first Green Lantern from the Green Lantern series. Now, is the Justice League going to have enough firepower to defeat these beings? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. And that's where the rub is here. But these dudes are big. They are massive, man. Big cats here. And there's more than one of them. There isn't just one. There's like a whole crew, as you can see. Holding hands, you know, conjuring up lightning together, you know, no big whoop. I guess that's what big beings do. All right, on to Marvel comic books. I got Poe Dameron, number 5, and this is kind of cool. This is kind of showcasing the events before The Force Awakens. We have Poe Dameron and his Black Squadron of X-Wing fighter pilots. They're on a mission to find Lor San Tekka. He's the dude that knows where Luke Skywalker is. That's who they got to find. But first, they are sent on a mission to break Gracchus the Hutt. Now, he is this Hutt, if you remember, from the Star Wars comic book, the main comic book, who is a collector of all things Jedi, if I recall. He loves collecting Jedi artifacts. He's a Hutt with, like, mechanical legs. See them? Isn't that kind of neat? So they're much more mobile. I think they're much more stronger than, say, Jabba the Hutt. Anyway, he's on this prison. The name of the prison is, oh boy, I can't remember the name. Megalox Beta. And it's interesting because outside the confines of the prison, the gravitational pull of the planet is 10 times what you would find on, say, planet Earth. So the moment that you leave this prison, you're going to get screwed up seriously. You're not even going to be able to move anywhere because the gravitational pull is so strong. Now, because of this, they don't even have guards in this prison. Pretty much the inmates run the show. Now, I know that that's been explored in a lot of movies and stuff. But I guess it'll be interesting to see a Star Wars twist on it. I'm not going to reveal why they need Gracchus the Hutt. I guess maybe you can figure out that he probably has a Jedi artifact that will be useful in their hunt for Lor San Tekka. But not only is Black Squadron interested in Gracchus the Hutt, but the intelligence officer Terex, who reminds me so much of Sinestro, he is interested in Gracchus the Hutt too, and strangely, he has come to this planet without the help of anyone from his First Order. So he's on this solo mission. We also learn a bit more about Terex's past. We learn that he wasn't always with the First Order, and I guess that he was kind of like a freelance mercenary. So that's going to be kind of cool to get some more of a backstory on him. So Poe Dameron, the only new Star Wars book based on strictly on the new universe there. All right. Spider-Woman, number 10. I'm not really sure what's going on in here because it's a tie-in book to Marvel Civil War, and you guys know that watch the Hump Day Haul on a regular basis. I don't collect too many Marvel books other than Star Wars books, Spider-Woman, and Punisher. And I think that those books are as far away from the Marvel Universe as possible. So all I can tell you is this. I'm going to read you the solicitation. Jessica Drew is a hard-boiled private eye who's got a newborn baby. So she's trying to steer clear of this whole Civil War thing. But when a startling new case lands in her lap, keeping herself out of the conflict becomes impossible, and so does taking Carol's side of things, who is Captain Marvel. Now, I have no idea what side of the fence Captain Marvel is on this whole Civil War thing. I don't know anything. Maybe one of you guys can fill me in on that. The thing that I love most about this book are basically Spider-Woman's concerns about raising her child. And the writer here, Dennis Hopeless, sorry, you know that he recently had a baby, I guess a few years ago, and you just know that the writing has really come from the heart. And that's what I really like about this book, and that's what makes it work. And it's funny, and it's humorous. And the artist here, Javier Rodriguez, definitely has a unique style that I really, really love. And he does good work, man. It's good stuff. So if you want to check out something that's different, definitely check out Spider-Woman. I've been with that comic, since Spider-Verse. All right, we're on to Image Comics. We're on to Descender number 14. And Descender has been a bit of a disappointment the last couple issues because they keep reverting to backstories, man. They do not move the main story forward, which was so compelling. But we're into another backstory now. This issue, for the second issue in a row, the backstory is going to focus on Tim 21 and the events that occurred at his mining colony that decimated the entire mining colony and took out his family, other than his brother. Who the hell is his brother here? Then his brother Andy, who now is what's known as a scrapper. That's a bounty hunter for robots. You see, in this world, robots are like the devil. They are a big, big no-no. Because at one point in this United Galactic Federation of Planets, these gigantic robots came and killed everyone. Billions and billions of people in this Galactic Federation. So after that, robots became outlawed. We do get a bit of a focus on, I think, Rover. That's the name of Tim 21's robotic dog. So, I mean, it's kind of cute and all, and we kind of see, things from Rover's perspective, kind of like a day in the life, but, it reeks of just kind of like lazy writing, I mean, just watching this robot thing sniff and try to act like a dog the best it can, and I guess getting into the psychology of his robotic dog. But yeah, and it goes on for like 10 plus pages of just Rover being on the outside and seeing this Holocaust in front of him, all these miners that have died. I mean, it's just kind of superfluous, I mean, it's a backstory that didn't really need to be told, I feel, We already got the gist of it, throughout the first 13 issues of this book. We know that Tim 21 was the last survivor on this mining colony. So I'm hoping that the story is going to pick up again eventually. We only get 2 pages in the whole book of what is going on currently in the planet Samson. I want to know what's going to happen with the ancient robot that they need to discover. What's going to happen with the whole Tim 22 betrayal, who is the doppelganger of Tim 21. He's like an evil Tim 21. I want to know what's going to happen with Dr. Kwan, because he's kind of sold out the rest of the crew. And there's so many of these loose ends that I'm just ready for them to move forward with. So I think there's one more issue and then this arc concludes. And I'm just hoping it's really going to pick up again after that, because it's just been such a disappointment. And it's upsetting. All right. Rumble, number 13. This is a Heron cover. I'm way behind, dude. I haven't read this this will be the third issue that I got to catch up on, so I'm way behind. I'll just tell you that Rathrak was a beast of a barbarian, and his soul and body and heart have all gotten separated. He resides currently in the body, his soul resides in the body of a scarecrow. But in order for him to become complete, he must obtain his body, and he must also obtain his heart, his heart is like on a necklace around this evil queen. There's his body right there. Another monster has control of his body. So I'm wondering, when he has to duel with his own body, how's he going to do it? Because Rathrak, who is this sword-wielding scarecrow, he's kind of like a no-nonsense kind of guy, take no prisoners, hack and slash. He doesn't screw around. So I'm just wondering, how is he going to handle that without, damaging his own body? And that's going to be interesting to see. Here's his body right there, messing things up. So this is like a BPRD crew. You got John Arcudi doing the writing. You got James Herron doing the artwork, and Dave Stewart doing the coloring. And I'm just going to sit down one night and bang all those issues out. All right. Aliens, Defiance, number 3, Dark Horse. I'm liking that cover. Brian Wood. We got a new artist, Riccardo Buccarelli. Sounds Italian, don't it? I don't remember too much about what's happening in this issue because number 2 came out like back in May. So it's another, independent, we're on our own freaking schedule to release books. Zula is a member of the Colonial Marines who is on board a ship with a whole bunch of replicants, one of which is named Adam or Davis 1. And they are helping her round up xenomorphs that are on other ships before they get to certain planets and infect those planets with, aliens. An interesting twist. As we know, in the whole alien world, synthetics don't exactly have a good track record, right? They can be pretty vicious as a result of their programming. They can be unreliable. They can be faulty. They can just be flat out dangerous. So is Davis eventually going to turn on her? I don't know. I guess time will tell. I'm not sure if this is a mini-series or if it's an ongoing series. I'm really not sure. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling the new artist. And finally, we have BPRD number 144, Hell on Earth. What's cool about this issue is we are seeing a tie-in with the Hellboy in Hell series, right? The one that was wrapped up by Mike Mignola about 10 issues early. Number 10, Mike Mignola announced that he is no longer going to be doing a story and the artwork of Hellboy at the same time. What's cool is that we have Varvara, who is the little Russian woman, and, oh my god, I can't remember, Losif, this guy in the funny-looking helmet. They're in hell. They're in hell, and that's where Hellboy is. They discover that Satan, the king badass, of hell, has been murdered, is dead. They can't believe it. Varvara and Losif are just in shock. So what I'm wondering is this going to be... There's Satan right there. He's dead. And we know that Hellboy did that. Hellboy did it. If I recall, it might have been Hellboy or his girlfriend, his former girlfriend. Shoot, I can't remember. One of them, anyway. But I'm wondering, is this going to be the big setup for perhaps Hellboy's return into the BPRD for the third act of the BPRD series. You know, they're going to be coming out with a whole new series eventually once this one concludes, and that would be great. I would love to see Hellboy back with the BPRD because it's been like years and years and years. Elsewhere in this book, the Ogru Jihad, which are giant beastly creatures, are continuing to do battle against Liz Sherman and Johann Strauss with the power of the Vril fire, the Vril suit. They seem to be the only ones out of the whole BPRD crew that can do any damage against those creatures. Kate Corrigan, who is the leader of the BPRD, is back in Colorado at the BPRD headquarters, kind of trying to evacuate the place and get people out of there because the Ogru Jihad are just making an ever closer march to their facility. And I'm going to hate to see the BPRD headquarters in Colorado get destroyed. But I'm really hopeful, man. I am really hopeful that this series is going to tie in not only with, you know, Hellboy and Hell, but also Abe Sapien. So I'm stoked to maybe see a realignment, a remerging, and resurging of the former crew. All right, that's been another Hump Day Haul, number 101 in the books. Let me select a cover of the week, and then we'll be out of here. Let me see here. Jeez, man, these covers, I just do not pick comics with great covers, people. I just don't. I guess I'm gonna go with Aliens, Defiance. I'm liking that. I'm liking the awakening there. There we go. A little better view. All right, that's for Philly Cuts. Bye.